Oh, and I got this weird error that it's not playing on Facebook. So I don't know why. I'm going to try to figure this one out. We're going to go edit. We are going to go right there and we're going to see if anybody does see this playing on Facebook. Please let me know because it is showing it is playing. Let me hide this real quick. Save changes. See what's going on. I see people are on it. So please, in the comments, let me know what's going on. Otherwise, I will have to put in the YouTube URL and see what is going on. Because on my test a couple weeks ago, we did not have any problems. So I'm going to try this out here. Hold on one second. Momentarily. This is always the fun part when you go live. Not sure what happened. Let's try this again. Because nobody is commenting, meaning nobody can see it. So let me, I guess, remove, delete on Facebook. Why was this there? No, I don't want to delete it. No, I don't want to delete it. I just want it to go. I think this because we had it set up for the creative group and we decided, nope, we're not going to do that. So let me try that again. I am going to be right back. I'm going to end this and restart it and see if people can actually see. You're on the link. Beth, are you from StreamYard or are you in the Facebook group? That's what I wasn't so sure because it gave me an error. It didn't go to Facebook for whatever reason. So let me see what's going on here because there was an event. Bear with me. That's the fun part about, oh, where am I? Nope, I want to go to the Tech and Tools group. And we'll see what happens. I already see people leaving that. So lead agent. And it should have gone live video. Let's see what's going on here. Bear with me. Hello. Not sure. This shouldn't be. It's a streaming. No, that's not what we want. All right. So gonna go grab the YouTube link and put it in the group since it's not working. YouTube. Let's see. I think that's because I deleted it from one group. I don't know why it didn't go. Let's see. My channel, my videos. And live. It's probably live right now. And let me grab this. Tech and Tools. There we go. We'll see. All right. I just posted the link. Not sure why that happened. We did test it. Everything was fine. And of course, I think I'm getting messages because that, but I am in here. So not sure. StreamYard. Okay. I just posted it. I posted my YouTube link in the group. I don't know why. Of course, it's not until I hit that click live button that it gave me an error. It didn't go to Facebook. Not sure why it says it's not connected. For whatever reason, but I'm glad some of you are on there. I just posted the link, so hopefully others will join in. I'm sorry about that. I guess that's the joys of going live, and StreamYard and Facebook had made changes, and I thought, oh, let's test this out before I do the Ask Me Anything, and it worked seamlessly, 2 weeks ago when I did the same class. So, but in any case, this is a great class. It's all about your MAXTECH powered by KV Core, all of your lead engine tools. As I say all the time, you will get a ton of, there's more tools in your toolbox and more are coming soon. I think I just got an email that all of your Design Center, Core Social, all of that may be going live as soon as today. I know a lot of us have been in beta trying to break it. I think we might have, so they had to fix that. But that's even super awesome. And that is next month's segment. So hopefully, you know, when we go live next week with Bree and the creative group, we'll fix whatever's going on with the StreamYard. But this is a very powerful tool. You're not going to use everything that we even covered today. What I want you to take out of today's class, one is I'm just kind of doing a brief overview of your lead engine tools. I want you to still ask me anything. So it doesn't have to be on Lead Engine. It'd be great if we could keep it to the Lead Engine tools. Have you tried to do stuff? Your wins, your losses, your struggles, whatever is going on, put comments inside of the chat so that we can go ahead and, answer some of those. I'm going to be live. I will have my desktop open so we can figure out those struggles together. But I do want to go over just some of my favorite Lead Engine tools, how to do some of them, things that we can be doing. So we'll be diving deeper after we get over the main sections, and definitely like full sections on squeeze pages, like from build to scheduling in Meta, so to be able to, save your time and stuff like that. But today is more of like a brief overview. I want you to go play, take some other classes that, are available on specific things, what works for your business, and ways that this system can help complement that. That's really the main objective for today. So first thing I want to do is I am going to share my little screen here. And if I look over here, it's because that's where my camera's here. I have the presentation over here, or StreamYard. But big thing that we have is the smart number. This is going to be the first, usually it's the most asked question I get. It's going to be that little number at the drop down, and you're like, that's not my number. I don't understand what that is. The smart number is like the voice over IP number that is assigned to each individual office. So all of the agents within an office share this number. It is just a way for the system to work your leads on your behalf. It's also a way for you'd be able to set up different lead gen, all of that fun stuff. The text codes are incredible. I would say play with it. I'm going to show you some really cool ideas. Don't call it, because if you are not in your database with your cell phone number, you are just going to be round robin to the next agent in your office. And then you're going to be calling it, wondering, why is this agent, every time I call this number, I get the same person? That is because it is a smart number. As soon as a lead calls a number that's not attached to an agent in the system in any way, it is going to round robin to the next agent on rotation. Now it's smart. So when you call it again, it already has assigned you to an agent, so it knows your cell phone is attached to agent A. So hopefully that explains a little bit. So you don't want to put these smart numbers on anything unless it is a correspondence with a lead that you already have going on, or if you use the text codes. That way it's going to be automatically attached to you. Hopefully that helps. For the most part, it could be a public number. It's really going to depend on your broker and how they have their website set up. I personally don't like to have the smart number displayed on the actual website. I like to have the office number. And that's only from experience. When we had KV Core, we found our agents were getting more administrative calls than actual leads. So we don't want our agents to handle admin duties. So we decided to display our actual office number because that seemed more appropriate. But each broker has that option inside of their web and IDX settings. And if they have, branch locations, something like that, that's just an option. Another thing to think about inside of your RE/MAX profile, your cell phone number should be listed, and it should be under the mobile cell. I have found a lot of agents have their cell phone number under the direct category, and then it's not pulling over and syncing to KV Core as your cell phone number. So we want to make sure that your cell phone number is listed under that category, mobile cell, because that way all of these market reports and different items that get sent via email to your leads actually have your cell phone number, because if not, it's going to automatically go back to the smart number. And we don't want that, just because it may not be connected to a cell phone, if that makes sense. So one thing that we want to do, make sure your cell phone number is in your profile. Do not call the smart number, but I'm going to show you some really awesome things that we can do. It's one of my favorite tools. So I'm going to show you how to build these. We're going to do that in just a second. Basically, it's inside of your lead gen. You go over to call and text capture. We're going to set up something. So we'll do that in a second. I just want to show you some cool features. So inside of here, you can set up these text codes. I'm sure you've seen sign writers. You can even put them, have these numbers put on your signs. I personally like the sign writers, especially if I know for us, most of our agents, our signs were with the sign guy. So when a new listing, you just put in your order and they put one of your signs on the property, but you don't know which code is attached to a property. I like to have full control over that. So if I have custom sign writers made, I'm physically putting it on the sign and I can move it once it goes pending if I need that sign writer to be attached to another active listing. So you can have like text by me to your smart number for precision text. And what's awesome is immediately, as soon as somebody's driving by, like my parents were always looky-loos for years and years, as far as whenever they're thinking of buying or, moving to a new area. But this would have been great because they wouldn't have stole everybody's flyers and, all the nosy neighbors, anything like that. They can easily just text by me. And now they're going to get all of the photos, the property information, and you are going to be able to create a lead. And the best thing about it is the number one complaint about online leads is not getting a correct phone number. Well, if they're texting you, it's a correct phone number. So that's always a good thing, right? So we want to make sure to use these text codes, and you can think outside the box. I personally loved it for sign writers to be able to move it from property to property. So you're going to say, okay, I have a listing at 123 Main Street. I'm going to go ahead and attach it. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. Now 123 Main Street has a contract, but I just got the neighbor's house, 865 Main Street, as a listing. So now I'm just going to go take that sign writer, move it to the new listing. I'm going to go into my text codes and edit and change the address. Now, when someone texts by me, it's attached to my new listing. And the great part about that is now, since it's in the same neighborhood, you can easily use your listing playbook and email everybody an announcement that was generated from 123 Main Street. You're going to be able to send an announcement for your new listing to everybody who texts that code for the other property address. Like, oh, you missed out on 123 Main Street. You're going to love the new listing at 865 Main Street. I'm doing an open house this weekend, blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be super easy for you because they're going to be labeled. Labeling any lead that you get, and that's a lot of what we're going to be covering today, is crucial because you can save, you can sort, you can do everything if your leads are labeled. And that's with those hashtags. So it's almost like doing a label. Yes, Renee, it's being recorded. It's on YouTube, StreamYard, and if I'm going to upload it into the group because I don't know what happened. It disconnected for me. But yes, this is being recorded right now. So we're good to go, and I'll upload it into the section. There was some hiccup, which we thought we sorted out 2 weeks ago when we did the testing since all the changes, but it didn't work. So then we have the Buy Me, the sign writers. But as you're doing your social media post, you have flyers that you have maybe, for your open houses, anything like that. You can also use that text code. So you're using the squeeze page or your listing playbook link for your new listing. You have the landing page that gets created. You have that link you could be promoting it with. That's the landing page, is that gateway to, the listing on your website. And you have a text code. So there's 3 different links you have easily just to generate leads on a particular listing. And then they'll be labeled however you label them. So your postcards, your social media, flyers, all of that kind of fun stuff. So this is just for being able to promote your listings using those text codes. I personally love postcards. If you're doing advertisement, a newspaper, if you're doing billboards, if you're doing signs at your school, anything like that, you can use the QR codes, use the Remax URL shortener to squeeze pages for that subdivision, and you can use text codes. So this one we have text home value to the smart number or scan the QR code, and that's taking them to the seller home value page on the website. And of course, other links using the squeeze pages, which we'll get into that too. So if it's an area you farm, I would create those squeeze pages, the market, seller, all of that for those areas you farm. take those links into Remax URL shortener and customize them. So I don't know if you can see, and you can't, it looks like it's the same thing. Hold on. I'm going through all this fun stuff and you can't even see it looking at it on another screen. That is my sign writer, your signs, your listings, promotions, flyers, using the text codes, all of that. And now we're over on the postcards. And let me hide myself or move this over just a tad. So this is basically taking, I have the home value, and I'm going to make me even bigger. There we go. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So you have your text home value to your smart number, scan that to get your the home value page. And now everybody, when I was doing this right here postcard, everybody just thought there was something wrong with my printer because people that were, had to use a separate app for a QR code. Everybody knows how to use an app now. And then, yes, Bill, I just realized that. Thank you. I'm looking it over here so I wouldn't have to look on another screen, but that's not working. So here, postcard, home value, QR code. If it's an area you farm, build squeeze pages, take it over to the Remax URL shortener and customize it. So you see this is rem.ax / and this is Lockmar Market, Lockmar New, and then Lockmar Pool. So that's just like a way to generate leads. One, you can track. I love the fact that we can track the QR codes and the Remax URL shortener. I love that we can track that within our URL shortener. So you're going to get how many people are scanning the QR code and how many people and when are actually using those the URL shorteners. I love the Remax URL shortener just for the tracking purposes. I can tell when I have a billboard put up or I do a mass mailing, you will see those spikes. Or if you're putting it on social media, it'll tell you which social platforms people are coming to, that using that link, clicking on it. What works? Is it LinkedIn, Twitter, X, I guess it is, Facebook, any of those? It's really nice to be able to track that. So postcards and mailings, definitely have your home value, the text code, buy me, but there are so many other things that we can do. In here, and I'll hide me again. So you can do the text for a single property, text for a search, just like I was showing using those squeeze pages. We can create text codes and text a link to individual searches. For updates, I love the home valuation, which you saw. What about signing up for your newsletter? So you do a monthly newsletter. You can easily, text newsletter to this number and sign up for my monthly newsletter. You can also do that for if you do giveaways. You could do a giveaway every single month and be able to easily have somebody, have all the people. Now you can do a save who did this month. And there's so many apps. Throw in their names, go live, have the app do the spinny thing, select somebody, and now they have, a $25 gift card to Home Depot, Lowe's, or something like that. It's just another way to build your pipeline. So that's always super easy, super nice to be able to use that smart number. So that's super crucial on what even a smart number is, other than just showing up and knowing it's not yours. Again, don't call it, but it is just another lead tool that you have under your belt. So if you really like the text codes and you're going to use that, you can buy your own. On a team level or somebody that's really going to take that in, I would probably want my own number. I believe that's $27 a month in the marketplace. Otherwise, it's still nobody can, and we'll go ahead and go over to our lead engine, to our call and text capture, so we can create one. So if I were to add new, and maybe I want it, and if somebody else in your office that has the same smart number as you already has a text code, nobody else can create it. So if another agent in my office already has done home value, I won't be able to do it. I will get an error code and it'll say that's already taken. So that's how the smart number knows that text is assigned to this agent. It can't be assigned to two agents. It wouldn't know what to do. So they would get an error, or you'll get an error if somebody else has it. So it's kind of first come, first choose, I guess, when it comes to creating your smart numbers. And you can create all that you want. It's just a matter of you deciding when or what you want to do with it. So I could do home value. Obviously, it wouldn't be attached to an MLS ID. That would be if I were to go and do buy me, I can enter the MLS ID. It can be anything that's in the MLS, or you can have it send a message. So you want to keep it, I think it's 140 characters or less. So you can send a message. And this is where, if you want it to go to a search, it is nice because then you can go create the squeeze page, do the rematch URL shortener, and then add that inside of the text. So you would just enter your text here, whatever you want it to say. That way, when somebody texts this to your smart number, this is the message that's going to immediately get sent to them. And always, 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 anytime you create the squeeze pages, any of this stuff, and we'll go over all of them, please, 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 you want to create a hashtag. It's going to basically put any leads into a bucket, into a folder. It's just labeling them. If you end up with more labels than you know what to do with, that's okay. You can easily remove labels if it's more than you know. But from having KV Core for a very long time, organizing all of the people that are coming into your pipeline from day one, and a year from now, you are going to be so thankful you listened to me, because you may put a certain city or newsletter or anything like that. It's going to make it super easy for you to mass text, mass email, do searches by this hashtag, send mass announcements for your listings via the listing playbook. There's so many different things. And when it's by city, it's super nice. When you go on a listing appointment, you can easily do a search for everybody with a hashtag in that city and say, look, Mr. Seller, I have over 1,200 people actively in my system right now looking for properties in your area. It's going to be a game changer if you listen to me. So organize from day one. You'll thank me later. I promise. Promise, promise, promise. So you'll go put in a hashtag, something that you're going to remember what this is for. Then, and you can put in anything, just like a hashtag, no spaces or anything. And then the smart number. So if you have your own, you'll have multiples to choose from, but obviously this is just one. So I can do home value. Pretty sure we already have that. But if I go to add, you're going to see down here, and you can't even see my screen. You cannot. How crazy is that? You won't be able to do it. You'll get an error code, and I'm in the way. So if I move that here, you'll see if home value, whoops, duplicate resource. That means that text code is already taken. I'm not suggesting, I don't know that unless you plan, so Shannon asked if I'm suggesting to buy your own. I don't know. I would say 95% of the agents do not need to pay $27 a month for their own smart number. If you do a lot of advertising, you have billboards out there, you want this loud and proud, and you're going to be using this, or I think like Jen, she had a different number from moving to a different location. This is perfect for her because now she can have an area code number and use that. It makes sense for her to get her own because that's just an office number. So she knows when somebody calls that, it's going to be somebody from the system. She can advertise it when you buy your own. You can put that anywhere. So it's definitely great. Like I moved from Florida to Tennessee. You know, you may not want to always have a different area code, the perception, of whatnot, even though it doesn't really matter anymore. But it is, if you want your own, have the area code or be able to advertise a work number, office number, it may be worth it for you to spend the $27 a month. I don't think 95% of the agents, it won't matter. Most aren't even going to use this tool if you just happen to want to use it all the time. And I would say create a couple to see if it's something you are going to use before you make that commitment. That would be my suggestion, is play with it, see if it's something that's going to complement your business before you make that any sort of investment of anything. So the sign writer, let me see, sign writer, So SignWriter, and if you Google SignWriter, real estate text code SignWriters, you will see there are some very clever text codes to be able to put on your sign. And this one's like custom, so it's actually a picture of the website. You could have it, maybe do a screenshot of like your link tree or anything like that. So that is kind of custom with your branding. I know Oakley, I did talk to them. They're happy to customize signs like this. Get 5 of them. That way you can just move them around. And when I come back over here, I'll show you how easy it is. So if I have text by me, you can see it's attached to an MLS ID. So now maybe this one went under contract. So now I'm going to go ahead and click edit. So you see they're fully editable. Now I want, and I know, let's see. I know she has to do the listing, but I don't know let's see. I'm just going to start typing and we'll see what happens. Okay. So it's just, you can start putting in an address and there you go. So I have this, now it's attached for this, and I'm going to change the hashtag. So when I'm associating it with a different property, I may want it to be that physical address. I may want to make it that city. It really depends. If it's an area you farm, that's completely up to you. And it's just a matter of playing as you go, but always at least have a hashtag, because then if you're like, oh, I don't like it by the address, you can still see that hashtag, see everybody in there. And then you can click all add hashtag. So that makes it super easy to add a hashtag to an older hashtag, to remove one. That may have been a little over the head, but a lot of cool stuff that you can do. So adding a hashtag, I would probably put, whatever the address is, Main Street, 123, whatnot. I believe KB Cored said it doesn't always work if you put the number ahead of, just like on a hashtag, like you say number 1 and it tries to link it. I don't know that I've ever had problems, but I just kind of made it a rule since, somebody else had an issue, or they mentioned maybe not putting letters in front of the or putting numbers in front of the letters. So I just kind of do it backwards, I guess, just because I don't want any problems. I've never had issues, but I just remember hearing that one time. So that's just where I go. So then you're going to go ahead and save it, and it's going to be attached to the new listing. I'm not going to do that because I have to go change it to her actual listing. But you can see all of these different ones she already has. So we haven't quite done anything with the newsletter, but here's what we got started. So you can see we started like, okay, I want, to reserve the newsletter. Once we get that newsletter going, now I can go ahead and finish this out. Thank you for blah, 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 blah. And we're going to finish this. Anybody who uses the text code and text newsletter are going to be labeled with newsletter. Everybody in my system's getting the newsletter, so it doesn't really matter. But it is pretty neat to see who wants to receive that. And it's a great way to remove that. Correct. So it's not deleting the old hashtag. Any lead that came in using that with the old hashtag, because it was attached to a different property, that won't change that. But now we're associating it with a different property and we're changing the hashtag. So any leads that come in will now get the new hashtag assigned. It's not deleting anybody that that's assigned to that old hashtag or that used the text code for another property. So it's not deleting it from the system. You can always create searches or anything like that. But it's just now when somebody texts that code, it's attached to a different property and it's going to be getting a different hashtag. That's a good question. So that's where you can easily go in and do your text messages, add the smart links. I personally would recommend using if it's going to a landing page, maybe buying your own vanity domain to be able to do this, or using the Remax URL shortener, because I know how much we all get so much spam emails and text. If it looked like a crazy URL, I am not clicking it. So we want to make sure, and by using that Remax URL shortener, 1, you're able to track. 2, it's going to give it that brand. So, and you can customize those. So you could have, rem.ax / Heather's newsletter. And that's, anything like that. So you can do whatever you want. I would just say if you're going to send a message and use a link, make it a branded link so it doesn't look like spam for the best results, for somebody to actually click on it. All right. So now coming back over to our lead engine. So that is the text codes. That's a smart number. That's always my number one thing. You have all of these fun things. You have landing pages, squeeze pages. These definitely play with, the lead Dropbox syncing, your Zillow, Realtor, all that kind of stuff, the bulk import, walking you through importing or having them import everything. Definitely, play with those. I do want to show the squeeze page. So we want to go ahead and start building, and I'll show you how to be able to do that. And there we go. And if you have a brokerage or a team where you just saw, and I'll go back to that because that's super important. That was my husband's hardest part when he started building squeeze pages for me. Right here, if you're a team leader or a broker and you want to choose the domain, you want it to be under the company, the site that you advertise, the same with the team leader. You have a drop down. You want to make sure you're building any landing pages or squeeze pages under that main domain that you advertise. I'm under a single agent. There's not many options, but on a broker level and team leader, you're going to have everything. So we want to make sure that that's done correctly. So you're going to go ahead and start building. And this is where you can it's basically doing a search on your website. So that's easy enough to explain. But what happens is you can set up the trigger as far as that forced registration. Maybe on your website, you have 0 forced registration. But if you're using squeeze pages to try to, generate leads, build your pipeline, you may want to have a trigger, a forced registration. If I'm paying for any sort of leads, I want a forced registration. I don't want to give everything away for free if I'm paying for it. I want to be able to get that. So what we want to do is put in the location, city, county, zip. So here I will just go ahead and do, let's just do Melbourne, if I can spell. So U-R-N-E. So we have city and you have area. And here we go. Where we go? There we go. So we have city. You can do subdivisions. You can do all sorts of fun stuff. Definitely play with it. So I have city. I want the location to be there. If it's very specific and you want to, maybe certain areas around lakes or oceans, something like that, you can easily draw it on a map too. Listing types. I don't usually mess with this too much, but you may want it, whether single family, townhouse, rental, something like that. Just remember, the more criteria you enter, the least amount of results you're going to get. Your style, I definitely don't mess with that, but you have that option. One of my best squeeze pages as far as click-throughs that I would post on social media was how much, what can you get for under X amount in X city? So think about that, because that was always super powerful. Right now with inventory being so low, I'm not using that as much because it seems like a ridiculous number for these areas. Like, oh my gosh, these houses were 100,000 and now you can't get anything under 4. But it's play with the different results, create multiple squeeze pages and see which ones give you the most click-throughs. And I believe at some point, I want to say maybe October-ish is when we're going to be building squeeze pages and going over to Facebook Meta to schedule them out. So I will schedule a month every single week. I know in the creative group, when I post the content calendar, one is Feature Friday or whatnot, featuring subdivisions, neighborhoods, cities. What can you get for this? Check out the hot new listings, check out, splash into your new pool home, golf course, whatever it may be. You can use all of these different squeeze pages that you build right here. So here you could do price range. The options is what I usually use the most. And hopefully you can see, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Options. So here, like just listed, walkable would be more of like a city thing. Open houses, 55 and plus, horse property. So if you do a lot of that, that may be something you want. Golf, pool, waterfront, water view, views reduced. And then you get into all this stuff. Hopefully we don't need to do again, but you have different options when it comes to saving these searches. And you're going to come up here, source, unless I am using a specific squeeze page for my Google ads, I just put FB for Facebook. And of course, you want the hashtag. So make sure whatever it may be. So if this one's Melbourne, that way you have that to save it for your future. It's going to be labeled. So now anybody that clicks the links, once we post them, it's going to be labeled with this hashtag. So, and then you here, Facebook cover, I always just use the highest price from the listing. I don't want it to be random. I don't want it to be the lowest because those won't be so pretty. Just the highest price because and I actually use my own graphics for these anyway, just because if you choose like an actual listing, once that listing sells, you're going to get a box that says photo coming soon because the listing doesn't exist anymore. It can't be shown. It's just going to be a blank. So I personally use my own graphics when I'm posting squeeze pages. Direct link. Here we go. We're going to generate link. Boom, pow, just like that. You have your short link and a long link. For the most part, use that short link all day long. The direct link, you will want that if you're running any Facebook ads or Google ads. They do not like the URL shorteners of any sort. So you have that. Let's see. Facebook. I'm mad to see you. Oh, that's Chris. It should be pulling up on YouTube, the comments. I can't personally see them. So because too many windows open. But we'll see. I'll be posting this in the group as well. Let me go back over here. Show must go on, right? We tried. Don't know what happened. I'll have to look into that. But I'll post this video afterwards anyway. So there's you create the link, generate it. I personally use Google Drive, and I copy and paste all of these links so that it's super easy for me to find them. You can go right into your history, and it'll show all of the ones that you've done. I just personally, I have them all. See how it's like kind of all over the place. So I use Google Drive so I can have Melbourne, new construction, pool, waterfront, golf. So I have everything categorized by the city, and I have all the hashtags. So it's kind of my quick reference versus coming over here. And when I use KV Core, they didn't even save these before. So that was just kind of where my brain went. And now I have a really hard time being able to sort, and that just gets all crazy for me. So I just like to have it in a Google Drive. You could use Excel, anything like that. So coming back over to build, I don't usually use the sold multi-property. I don't do the single property only because I just go to the listing playbook and then everything's labeled with there, and that creates the landing page and the squeeze page for any of my single properties. Seller squeeze is awesome. Again, super easy. You're just going to put in the area that you want it to be in, put in source, Facebook, the hashtag you want it, and then generate the link. It's awesome because when somebody clicks on that, it's going to say the average home in Melbourne is selling for this amount, and it actually gives like that average number, and then it prompts, well, what's your home worth? And then they enter their address. You just generated a seller lead. So definitely these are awesome. And I would recommend, if you are doing any sort of seller leads, make sure you have a follow-up plan in place. Whether you're a door knocker, you're going to go find their phone number, or at worst case, I just go to Vistaprint. I get a bunch of postcards that are kind of generic, really kind of targeting the seller. Thank you for interest in that. Make sure to always look in the MLS, because I do find 30% of the people that fill these out or that find that home value page on my website are actually just listed their property with somebody else. And I guess they're just trying to, I don't even know what they're trying to do, but have something in place. Always a follow-up if you plan on doing any sort of lead gen. Luckily, the system has everything going on. That's awesome. Just make sure you have the campaigns turned on and all of that fun stuff, and have a follow-up plan in place. The market report, these are awesome because it kind of shows the active, pending, solds, all that fun stuff. So you can go in there, put in your area. Again, source, I usually just put the FB and always give it a hashtag and generate the link. So go in there and play with those because those are awesome because I just schedule every single week. Something is getting put out for different cities, different property types. And a year from now, I'm really going to be able to dive in to all of the results of my hashtags and see which ones people are actually clicking on because I'll know to focus more on those. But I absolutely, any type of lead, any sort of links that I'm putting out into social, they are going to be labeled with a hashtag because that is super, super important. All right. So now back over to lead engine and landing pages. Not so fun to build, but I'll give you some ideas. So this is basically the template we have to start with. Depending on the logo, the brokerage logo, I think I just like the light theme, the better. You can change hashtag always. So maybe it's, your download the seller's guide. What happens when somebody fills this out? What happens? Are they going to be getting a PDF? Are they going to be going to one of your squeeze pages? Maybe you are creating this landing page as a gateway to subdivisions or market reports, whatever it may be. What is your point? What's your goal of having this gateway to information? So this URL is the information that they receive after they fill out the form. And the background, you can also require a phone number. So you see it says optional. You can say, make it mandatory. I will say if you do that, you will get a lot of people bouncing out, not as many leads, completely up to you. And then you have a lot of different backgrounds and you can even add your own custom background. When you click on that, it's like, oh, where's my upload button? Just go upload it into a fake blog. And when you do that, you're going to get a little URL. That's what they want. It has to be hosted somewhere. So go grab the URL from a blog and dismiss it. That's all they need. So you can do that right inside of your KV Core. And then make sure you have what type of lead is this, because that's what is going to trigger the campaigns that you have. And you come over here, you can edit, change out any of the text, but you don't see any edit icon. It doesn't look anything like Word or anything like that because that's why it's not so much fun to build these out. Because if I'm like, oh, I want to do this, and you just double click because that's what you're used to doing. Oh, it just disappeared. Well, I wanted to use that. I have to click refresh and start all over again. So it's not wonderful, but this is your guideline to be able to do that. So I will show you, let's see, because Chrissy has some on hers. Let's show you just kind of, we have different e-guides. My favorite one right there. So let me open, and open. All right. So buyer's guide. So just basically used a different background, added text there. I didn't need all those bullet points. So I just double clicked, got rid of all of those, changed this. There is coding that you can do to change the buttons and stuff like that. And here is like home staging guide, seller's guide. And then my favorite is a relocation guide. This one is awesome. So it's great. So somebody goes in, and I will go ahead and do this because I've already done it a ton of times. So this is where that call to action happens. Okay, so they give me their information. The email comes in. Then what happens? So I give my email, and I just had a URL. So I download relocation guide. It's not really a download because we haven't finalized it yet. So if you notice up here, this says Canva. So this is basically a flyer that was done inside of Canva. And when we went to go, decided not to download it as a PDF because we have videos and we're not done with it yet. So what we did is we just saved it we're sharing it as a web page. So this is literally a live document. As we tweak and add more information, whenever someone fills that form out, they're going to receive the most recent live document. So I just made it share as a website. Canva does that. It's just a flyer. So I can save it as a PDF, but we're not done with it yet. So here's all this. definitely, gathering all this data, all this fun stuff. So it's literally just, you can even say what kind of website. It'll be like scrolling one page. It'll even give you little banners if you have headers for, the tops of your page. It's awesome. Then we have, just links, area attractions, videos. These are all just tourism videos. And just information. So that is something to think about as you're thinking of gateway to information, landing pages. What items can I provide that will give me more leads and build my pipeline? And if I come over to her CRM, her people, there we go. Look at this. So I can see just the leads that are coming in, all of these relocation guide, relocation, buyer's guide, staging. I can see the leads that are coming in from her direct site are coming in because of those guides. Not from necessarily properties, because that's how they're being labeled. So that is pretty awesome to be able to get anybody in there from those. So just something to think about as you're looking to build up your pipeline. So just different things. All right. I am looking for any questions for the Q&A section, because this has been a bit of a craziness with it not syncing over to Facebook. Let's see. Other than this has been crazy, right? And yes, Chris, I saw your comments. And I think you only see, I saw some people on YouTube, so it should be commenting right inside of YouTube. But that's it. I don't see any questions on here. So the sign writer page. Let's see. All right. Well, I think that's it. I just wanted to do a brief recap or overview of your lead engine tools. I want you to go in there and play, and I want to see you guys build out some squeeze pages using some of those text codes, and we'll see what happens from there. And I get to go figure out what happened with that Facebook sync and upload this video over there, since it wasn't live, unless they were watching on YouTube. But let's see. Jill, great question. I went to ChatGPT and I said, write a relocation guide for my area with area attractions and information. And it spit out a whole bunch of stuff. I used some of it. I just basically put it over in Canva and made it pretty, and found some tourism videos. We already had the utility sheet with all of the hospitals and utilities and all that. So we already had that on an office level. I just changed it to Chrissy's branding. So that, and then just made a pretty cover. And then that way it was pretty nice for, let's see, where is that at? When it was over here, and when I did my own custom background, I did that in Canva. And I love how Canva will even give you that preview. If you have a flyer, it'll give you the first 2 pages and a preview, like you're going to send it to a printer. And I just screenshot that, remove the background, and put it on this. But lots of great things. But that's where the amazing part is. If you have Canva, you can easily do the guides, use ChatGPT to help you compile information and resources. And that'll at least give some of the verbiage. And then I just added the links in that I wanted to make sure, and the utilities and all of that kind of fun stuff. So hopefully that'll help. This relocation guide is not that long, because we're still building on it. So the cover, utility, I didn't have to do any of this. I wanted all the links. And then some of this part of ChatGPT, I went and found, so it was probably like 7 pages. I found videos to fill out. And then this is the information, of course, hyperlinking everything. So we had it live on the site, and I was like, oh, I wonder what'll happen if I added this, as a landing page instead of just giving away all of this. So I like it this way. It's generating a lot of leads, I guess, building up our pipeline. She doesn't have a whole lot of people, so we're just trying to build that up. But So it's probably only like 6 or 7 pages. I mean, it's amazing what graphics you can find and information to kind of fill in the blanks and just break up different text. Yeah, so I think it's only, oh, and your face showed up this time. What was it? Maybe it was always there. All right. But definitely go play with that. Some different ideas. I know I even have a blog on my website with like 25 ideas of, landing pages. Ask ChatGPT to give you 25 real estate landing page ideas and see what it comes up with. And then you can say, oh, I love number 1. Create me call to action, whatever for it. So ChatGPT is a very scary place to be. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Thank you for being able to pop on wherever you were. Those that use a streamer, I guess that's the good thing with the online on demand, since so many changes have happened with StreamYard and Facebook, and I don't know what happened. I mean, I think I have an idea, but I'll have to look into that. I will upload this into our guide section. And of course, you guys know how to find me. If you have any questions, pop them in the groups and we'll be sure to answer them. And thank you guys for joining, and we will chat soon.